Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Houston, Texas, the humidity capital of the world, it's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez.
Welcome to Money for Lunch. I am your guest host today, Katherine Lee, filling in for Bert Martinez. Bert will be back here on Monday, but in the meantime, happy Friday, everyone. We are here with Ed Sanderson, founder and COO of Ducerus, which is a mentoring group to help those seeking higher education. Welcome to the program, Ed.
Thanks for having me, Katherine. How are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you. Tell our audience a little bit about Ducerus.
Well, Ducerus was founded about 19 years ago with the objective to helping parents and students kind of bridge the gap from high school into college. So we handle admissions and financial aid and kind of cash flow management and just kind of helping parents and students figure out what they want to do in expanding their education. So we've been at this for 19 years, and we have a nice practice here in San Diego and offices all over the country.
Wow, that sounds like great work. Tell us about the book Shift Happens. What was the motivation behind this book?
Well, you know, back when we wrote that book, the country as a whole was going through a lot of changes and shifts, if you will. We were in a recession. Some people called it a depression. We had escalating education costs. We had small businesses taking the brunt of what was happening in the education. We had banking issues. We had all kinds of stuff. And usually through those types of crises, we kind of sometimes look at ourselves with the idea that maybe there's something we can do to improve it. And that was kind of our approach, which is the country is going through some changes. That means people were going through some changes, and we thought there would be a way that we could reach some individuals, whether they were going to college as adults, young people, small business owners, whatever, just to reevaluate where they're at and see what they can do to improve their situation.
I see. So what do you think the shift is for today's businesses in today's economy?
Well, I mean, you look on the news and you see nothing but doom and gloom, but there are some things that, as business owners, and I'm an entrepreneur, that we can do to kind of help get this country turned around, at least the economy. And part of it is just reinvesting in yourself. I mean, we have to take an opportunity to kind of take an evaluation of where our company's at, what's going on, invest in ourselves, really invest in our employees, and then really use technology as the foundation of getting things up and running. We can talk all day long about brick and mortar stuff, but the fact of the matter is we are in a internet-based world, and anybody who's not looking at that as an opportunity to focus their marketing attention on that to acquire clients and customers is really losing out. So there has to be a shift. Even if you're a brick and mortar, and we're like that, we have an office here in San Diego, but the reality is people are on the internet all the time, and they're moving at the speed of light. Therefore, we have to as business owners as well.
So how do you think this shift has affected your business specifically?
Well, you know, what's interesting is anytime that you have an economic downturn, there's two businesses that seem to flourish. One is the alcoholic beverage industry, and the other one is education, because people realize that in order for them to compete in this world, they have to be educated. So we deal with a lot of students that are looking to determine what is the best way they can get education, and one that they can do it as affordably as possible. So like other businesses, we take to the internet, we try to get the information out. There's ways that families can educate themselves on the process. But more than anything else, this is a kind of a due diligence type of application. You got to go and look at what the careers are doing, what kind of jobs are up and coming, how that affects what major you're going to take in college. It also can determine what school you're going to go to. And as the price of college starts to escalate, you got to determine, can I afford that? Who has the best grants? Who has the best scholarships? What are their loan programs? And really educating yourselves as people going back to college, whether you're an adult or a young teenager or in 20-somethings. It's really using the internet to your advantage to get that information. And at our company, we kind of take all that data, collect it, kind of sift it for our clients, and give them reports and information. Because they're all busy families trying to make a living, we want to deliver that in a timely fashion and give them the information they need to make informed decisions.
Ed, your company focuses on getting families ready for college. What would you say is the shift in the world of education?
Well, back when I was getting ready to go to college, it seemed pretty simple. You just fill out an application, and you send it in, and next thing you know, you got admitted and you're on your way. Today, the world of education is significantly different. It's extremely competitive. There's so many people trying to get the best education they possibly can. Pardon me. So when we talk about the shift in education, really it's about understanding what each college or university has to offer a student. So it's like we tell our families all the time, get out, go take a look at these schools and find out what they have, not so much in education, but what they're going to do for you to prepare you for the real world. Additionally, you got to look at numbers. And we were in a situation where not that long ago, we would talk to families about applying to 6, maybe 8 schools. Nowadays, you have to apply to somewhere between 10 and 14 colleges or universities. And when you're doing that, you have to understand that it's a meticulous process. You have to really fine-tune every aspect of the application process, whether it's the essays, whether it's your resume getting into schools with your extracurricular activities, your community service. I mean, we look at planning for college just like planning for getting a career going, which is you have to establish a resume, a working, living, breathing product so that when schools look at you, they look at you as a good citizen that actually is creating value for their institution, not only getting an education for you. So there's a lot of research. We tell our parents, if you're going to do this on your own, be prepared to spend 8 to 10 hours on each individual school or college, because if you're going to spend 4 or 5 years of your life at that institution, you got to make sure that's the right fit. Education is escalating at about 5 to 8% per year, and that's significant a significant investment for any family. So before you make a commitment, you got to make sure that's the right fit, and that's really how things have changed, which is we live in a society where information is available to us, but really digesting that information, making sure that the investment you're going to make is the right investment for your family, has long-term value, and it goes beyond just a piece of paper you're going to get when you graduate from that school.
I think that's great advice, and you're absolutely right. It's so important for families to really take the time to carefully make these decisions, especially with so many options for schooling out there. The job market is really tough. What should students be doing to set themselves apart in the workplace?
Yeah, this is a great question. I mean, in the terms of what we've been doing on the student development side of our business, we're really trying to impress upon our kids, and by the way, even parents who are changing careers or going back to school, that it's important to take a look at the career options long before you head into the classroom. The idea was you graduate, you have a degree, you're out there and you're looking for a job, but just like getting into college, jobs are very competitive these days too. And so I gave this advice to my son. I'm not sure he's going to listen to me, but I give it to other parents and students. And even when I got into this business, I started with an internship. I decided to look at this as an investment in not only myself, but also whether or not I wanted to make this a career. So before I signed on the dotted line and I got into this business, I decided to take a look and volunteer some time to understand what was really happening behind the scenes in the company. And from there, I said, yeah, this is the place I want to be. You make an investment. Now I'm a partner and co-founder of this company, this new division. But for most students, they don't look at it that way. They're like, work for free. I don't want to do that. But it will save so much time and heartache if you're going to go to school to become a doctor, and then you're in this deal for 7 years and you realize that the sight of blood makes you faint. You probably should have figured that out long before you started going to college. So we tell our students, you know what, if you want to be a doctor, it never hurts to do an internship at a local doctor's office, your pediatrician, at a hospital. Even if it's just 1 week, see if that occupation makes some sense. And it does 2 things. One, You can rule out things that you don't want to do. And two, when you graduate from college, you have that degree, but you also have practical work experience. As like recently I listened to an interview from President Barack Obama, and he said, we have all these jobs coming up, but we don't have people to fill them because they don't have the experience. And that's the key. You could go to the greatest schools on the planet. If you don't have practical experience that allows an employer to go, yeah, this is the guy or gal for me, you're really doing yourself a disservice because you're also not giving yourself the ability to earn as much as you can right out of school, because they want people who have all the skills that they need in the business and matching the degree with that. So my greatest advice to you in the shift of this workplace and this environment is intern. Get that practical experience to make sure you're going down the right road.
I think that is absolutely invaluable experience. I know so many people in college that, you change your major a couple of times and then you're expected to work in this one specific field, for your whole life, and you don't even know anything about it really. So it is important to explore those internships and get that real life experience, like you said, and, kind of see what life would really be like working in a field rather than just studying it. Thank you so much for being with us today, Ed. We really appreciate it. Where can our listeners find out more about you and Ducerus?
Well, there's a couple places you can go. You can go to our website, ducerus.com, ducerus.com. You can call our office toll-free, 855-383-3787. That's 855-DUCERUS. And we have an office locally there in Houston. A gentleman by the name of Jeremy Farmer runs an office for us outside of there in North Houston out of Cypress. The number of his office is 713-554-4882. Look us up online, give us a call, see what we can do to help you folks out. It's a crazy world out there, and the more preparation these kids and these families have, the better off they're going to be.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us, Ed.
No problem. Anytime, Katherine.
Thank you so much. Everybody tune in on Monday.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch. And check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.